The season 32 cast of Dancing with the Stars has been revealed. Hey everyone, this is Hibaberry and welcome back to Shared News. Today we will be breaking down the latest in casting news for Dancing with the Stars. On today's panel, we have Kayla and Tatiana joining me to give all their insight to you guys, and we're going to break down the cast contestant by contestant. Okay, you guys, so the time has finally come, the time we've been waiting for. The official cast for Dancing with the Stars has been revealed. The remaining 11 contestants were announced on Good Morning America. Now, the show had name dropped slowly but surely some contestants like Bachelorette Charity Lawson, who will be paired with Artem, Vanderpump's Ariana Madix, who will be paired with Pasha, and recently Lynn Spears, who will be paired with Alan. Now, let's start with these ladies and kind of break down our predictions for them in this season now that we know their official partners. So let's go ahead and begin with, I feel like, the most popular contestant we're kind of talking about right now, which is Lynn Spears with her partner Alan. So what were your guys' reactions to the announcement and for her to be paired with Alan? I will start with you, Kayla. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, my first thought when I saw Lynn on the cast was, wow, Jamie is really back in the game. I mean, she was seen on the last season of Special Forces. Zoe 102 just came out, and now she's on Dancing with the Stars, and I really love that for her. I think it'll be really interesting to see how well she does on the show, because kind of like Special Forces, I mean, it's nowhere near that level of like pressure and I think intensity, but Dancing with the Stars is not a joke. It's not a game at all. Like, it's a tough competition. It sounds like something real cute and fun, but once you get into it, it is like, you know, you go hard, you work hard. It's long hours. It's strenuous. So I'm interested to see how she does on that aspect. And of course, to see how well she can really dance. I don't remember at any time on Zoe 101 her dancing at all. So I'm curious to see how she does with that. And also with her partner. So
yeah, I'm really interested to see how this is gonna go. I mean, maybe she's learned a thing or two from her sister, Brittany, growing up watching her dance and perform. So we're going to see what this is about. And first of all, I was like shocked to see that she had joined the cast. I was waiting for weeks. When I say I'm like one of the biggest Dancing with the Stars fans. So I was waiting for this cast announcement for so long. And to see this amazing, really diverse cast coming in and really big names coming in as well. I'm really excited to see what the season is to come. I'm also really excited because, a lot of in the season, they talk about their personal life, their struggles, what they've been going through. So maybe we're going to see a whole new side of Jamie and, just her background, her growing up, just opening up a whole new side of her. So yeah, I'm really excited to see, and I'm really excited to see them dance, and because this is gonna be a really, really big challenge, because it could go 50-50. You either got it or you don't. So and then sometimes you can tell within like the first like 1 or 2 episodes of who might actually end up in the finals. And I'm gonna predict that she's gonna be one of the final contestants, because I wouldn't doubt that she may know how to be a performer, like learning from her sister Brittany. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm super excited.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see. And I feel like Alan is a good partner to have because I imagine he's a good teacher. Totally guessing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe dancing runs in their genes. Sure. But I had actually joked, what if we got Brittany on the show? Because I feel like she would drive a lot of viewers, obviously. But, that was just part joke, part wishing for it. But I mean, I guess we'll take Lynn. She's a good exchange. She'll suffice. But I'm curious if she's going to start doing some spins on the ballroom floor like big sis over there. But again, we'll just have to see what happens. As far as her athleticism, not sure if she has any prior background experience. But how do you guys think that she'll do with her fan base, the appeal? I mean, just because she's linked with her sister, does that mean that they're going to root for her? I feel like that's a little thing that we might have to teeter back and forth with, because I mean, a lot of the Brittany fans say that Jamie has been kind of, on the offense with Brittany, not really defending her. So I don't know if the fan base is going to judge just off of personal issues that they have with Brittany and wanting to defend Brittany, or just maybe her dance skills. So that's maybe something we'll have to figure out in the next couple of episodes. But just basing off of her being with the partner Alan, I think she might go far. She seems athletic. Maybe watching her sister having that connection with dancing somewhat, I would just imagine, but that's a total guess. But again, we will just have to wait and see. All right, next up, we have Ariana Madix with Pasha. And again, Ariana was teased a while ago, so we've known she's going to be in this new season. And of course, she's going to try to make all those scandal headlines go away, hopefully with Dancing with the Stars, and kind of, maybe change up her image, change up her brand. So Kayla, what do you think of this pairing? How do you think, fans might react? Do we know if she has any background skills with dancing, or maybe even knowing how to keep a beat?
Listen, I'm unfortunately one of those who has not seen I have never seen an episode of Vanderpump Rules.
Same.
But of course, I
you.
know the name Ariana Madix when I see, I know who Ariana Madix is, because if you don't know, you've been living under a rock the past few months. So, but yeah, all I know is that this is her comeback season for sure. I mean, I think, this is an opportunity. It was a layup for them to try to cast her. I think for her and for Dancing with the Stars, I think she's someone that people want to see, in her own element, kind of stepping into her, taking her power back. And I think doing a show like Dancing with the Stars is the perfect opportunity to do that, and to also kind of gain more fans. And kind of like Tatiana was saying with Jamie, you're going to get to see a lot of her background, her opening up, getting vulnerable about personal things. And also you're seeing someone potentially grow and challenge themselves in a really different way, and, getting themselves out of their comfort zone potentially. So yeah, I'm excited to get to know her, I think, but also I think just as a Dancing with the Stars fan, interested to see how she does in the competition and watch her growth. When it comes to Pasha, I think Pasha is not necessarily super new, but to me, he's still kind of he's not the veteran that Val is or someone like that. From my point of view, Tatiana is a super fan, so I'm sure she'll correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, hopefully they have some good, a good partnership, good chemistry. That always takes that takes a contestant to the next level. If they have chemistry with their partner, if they work well together, you just, as a fan, you enjoy watching the two of them dance, whether that person's incredibly good at dancing or not. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm intrigued by Ariana.
When I saw the post that she did with Derek Huff, kind of as a teaser of joining the cast of Dancing with the Stars, I got so excited because, first of all, just like the both of you, I've never watched Vanderpump Rules until this whole Scandival thing happened. And first of all, I think everyone, felt really bad for it. And whether you watch the show or not, it's your boyfriend of 10 years was hooking up with your best friend for months, and you had no idea. And so, this girl has gone through a lot. It's a couple months ago, and now I think just like how Kayla was saying, she's regaining her power. She is living her best single life right now, if she is single currently, thriving. And you know what? If she wins the Mirror Ball, what a way to kind of, because when the show will end, will probably be around Christmas, New Year, close to around that time, the holidays. So what a way to wrap the year off if she finishes her 2023 with a Mirror Ball under her belt. So I'm rooting big time for her. And honestly, with the clip that she had posted with Derek on Instagram, you could see she's got some grooves. She's got some moves. I feel like I think she's a good contender. And Pasha is a really great dancer from what I've seen. I know he's only been a pro for the last just couple seasons, not a veteran like everyone else. But I think the two can go really far with within this competition. So I'm really, really excited.
I think so too. I think she has some spice to her that we're still waiting to see. And even in the pictures, she looks great. With the outfit, she's giving us the face. I feel like she's really going to surprise us. And I also think this is another good pairing. It seems like he's also a good teacher from the videos I've seen in past seasons of how he really breaks it down for whoever he's partnered with. So I think this is going to be a good pairing. And I think she might go far, you guys. I think she's going to kind of be the underdog that we don't see coming. We want to root for her because she has, this comeback in a way. So I think she's going to have this underdog mentality that fans are going to be following very closely because I feel like she is going to have a lot of eyes on her, especially because of the scandal that's happened that's followed her. So a lot of people are, I think going to support her, but we'll see how well she actually dances is the thing. It's like the technicality of how she'll deliver. But again, we will have to keep watching. All right, so number 3 up next that we also knew about was Charity Lawson, who is, of course, the former/current Bachelorette right now. And she has been partnered up with Artem, who I actually really like this pairing as well. I feel like they did a really good job with the pairing so far this season. And I think Artem has, again, a really good method of teaching people and instructing them. She actually has that amateur cheerleading background back in the day. So I feel like that can kind of help her, maybe dust off those moves a little bit. It's maybe not going to help her all the way. Again, I don't know if she's going to make it all the way, but it does help. It's not going to hurt her having that little bit of background. And again, in the picture, like she's got the outfit, she's got the pose down. So I'll be really interested in seeing her actually doing ballroom genre type dances because that's very different from cheerleading. It's a lot of different type of discipline, a lot of different movements and things like that. So it'll be interesting to kind of see if there is any translation from cheerleading to professional ballroom dancing. So we'll have to see, but it is a good advantage that she's coming freshly off her Bachelorette season, that there is a fan base. She is still timely. She's not super like a washed out celebrity, I guess you can say. She is still timely. She's still in the headlines. She's freshly engaged. So people still have her eyes on her and they will continue to do so with this show. So I'm very curious how far she'll go, but I have a feeling she'll go far. I think she's going to go far than I feel like she's going to go farther than Ariana. I'm going to say that. I'm going to be controversial today, guys. But I'll start with you this time, Tatiana. But what do you think of Charity and her partnering with Artem?
Well, Artem is he's actually proven himself to be a veteran at this point. He's been on the show for many, many seasons. And he's had a few contestants that I think he's almost made to the finals, or I think he even made it to the finals one time, if I'm correct. So I think he is gonna teach her very well. And from what I've learned watching this show, I think if you've had any sort of, I guess, background in doing like some sort of like dance, cheer, ballet, gymnastics, like anything along those lines, you kind of sort of have a leg up because, you have some flexibility, cheer, you still dance. So, you can, there's dancing within cheers. So you have some rhythm in you. So I think she might have a leg up because of her cheer background. I'm really interested to see how this is going to go. And yeah, she's a fresh face in Hollywood right now. So, versus some of the other contestants, and this is something that we'll be again see a different side of because they get personal on the show and they talk about their background a little bit more and where they came from and their struggles in their life. So we're gonna see a whole new side of her. And Hiba, I kind of agree with you. I might think that she might go all the way with this because of her cheer background. So I think people who don't have as much of a background in like any sort of dance or like dance form, they're gonna be challenged a little bit.
Yeah, for me, listen, this is a knock out of the park. Charity has every possibility. She has every chance of making it to Final Four for sure. I mean, she's an ex-cheerleader like we've been talking about. She's got the rhythm, she's got the talent, but her being the recent Bachelorette, she knows what it's like to be on camera and to have to kind of like, she led her own season of a full show. So she knows how to like bring that personality, have that kind of stage presence. And then on top of that, I mean, the Bachelorettes are kind of known to either win the show or go insanely far. Gabby was final 2 last year. Artem literally won with Caitlin Bristow, who was the Bachelorette. Hannah Brown, did she win or almost won? One of the two. Listen, Charity has every shot of making it far. So I actually agree. I think she'll go farther than the other two ladies we were talking about earlier. And I think too, just with like, adding to her fan base, I think sometimes with Bachelorettes too, I think like it's such a niche show, The Bachelor, and so many more people, I think a wider range of people watch Dancing with the Stars. So when they become, it's like they already heard of you, but they don't really know you because they didn't really watch your season. And then they do, and they're like, oh shoot, like Charity is a really, really great person. She's a really great girl. She's very relatable. So I think she has on both ends, on all aspects, like she has every potential of like killing it. So, but of course we gotta see what she brings to the dance floor to, and see what happens on the premiere night. But yeah, I have high expectations for Charity for sure. I expect her to do very well. So, yeah, I think she'll also be a really great student, and she'll work really hard. So I'm excited about Charity, as you can tell. I think I have the most hope in Charity so far at the cast.
I don't blame you because she's had a lot of eyes. Like you said, it's kind of in the ABC family, coming from Bachelorette to now Dancing with the Stars. So she has this fan base, and it's possibly going to grow even larger with this different Dancing with the Stars crowd audience. So it'll be very interesting to see, but hopefully they vote. And then we'll really see her fan base.
Yeah.
But now let's move on to the new names, you guys. These are the names we've been waiting for week after week as they have been teasing us. So first up, we have model Tyson Beckford, who has been paired up with Jenna Johnson. And Tyson played him in 2001's Zoolander. He's just a well-known model. So this is interesting because usually with models, it's hard to see if they have a dancing background. Maybe we can kind of say they're athletic because of working out, but working out again is very different from ballroom dancing, the craft of that. As far as fan base, I'm not really sure how many people know Tyson Beckford because I'm familiar with him, but he is a little bit more of a veteran when it comes to male modeling back in the day, not as much now. So I'm sure people will be a little bit familiar with him that watch Dancing with the Stars because I'm sure it's a little bit of an older crowd, super old, but they might be a little bit more familiar with him. But as far as competition wise, him making it far, no idea if this guy can dance ballroom or anything close to ballroom. Fan base, I have a question mark on it, but maybe he just really has to come out with a bang so we can really be grabbed by his attention and how he commands that dance floor, which again is so hard to say. But he is paired with Jenna Johnson, who again, all of them are great teachers. I keep saying this, so it's really hard to tell how far they'll go. But I feel like Jenna is also a really great teacher. So, oh man, I think is going to have to come down to his technique and then the fan base really pulling up for him. What do you think, Kayla?
Yeah, I agree. I think, sometimes with the guys on the show, it can be a hit or a miss. It can be really tough for them to not be stiff and to like get into the groove of it and kind of like, but if you have rhythm and you kind of can be loose, you're going to be good. And I think with Jenna already has such of her own, like she's kind of one of the pros that she's a celebrity almost herself, so people are going to be voting because they're a fan of Jenna as well. And they like Jenna. So I think, he has potential, but like you said, we'll have to see you have to see how it goes because with the fan base and stuff too, with him, it could be a hit or a miss.
Yeah, I totally agree with Kayla. With guys, especially, it's again a hit or a miss because most of the guy contestants that they bring on don't really have a lot of dance background. It's either they got it or they don't. Sometimes, like even athletes, you would think like an athlete can't dance, but they brought on like football players who can dance and have won the show. Unless like they were in some sort of like band or they are a performer or were a performer, but it's a hit or a miss with most of the contestants. So I'm really interested to see. And sometimes you can, like I said, with the first 1 or 2 episodes of watching the show, you can tell like if they're going to go far within the competition or if they're going to get booted early on.
That is very true. It's very tricky with the models, the athletes, like you mentioned. One athlete that really impressed me in the past season was Iman Shumpert. He really blew me away. And of course, he ended up winning. So he was an amazing performer. And I was very shocked that a basketball player can move like that. So that's, again, it's really truly a hit or miss until they hit that ballroom floor. That is when we will know. All right, next up we have a surprise that I actually did not see coming as well, which is Allison Hannigan, and she is partnered up with Sasha. Now, of course, Alyson starred in American Pie, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and How I Met Your Mother. I predict easily she's going to be a fan favorite. She's going to be a fun time. She's going to be like America's sweetheart during this season. I mean, she looks so happy in the picture. It looks like she's already having a blast. So I feel like maybe fans will just want to continue seeing her having fun and maybe trying. I don't know if she's going to be the best, but she's going to put in the work and people will want to root for her and just see her week after week. She just seems like she's, again, just gonna have the best time. Maybe not the best technique, but she's just there for a good time, just to make you smile. So that's my prediction with her. Not sure if she's gonna make it even to like week 4. We'll see. But yeah, just her smile. I'm looking at her picture and she's making me smile. So I feel like she's gonna have that effect, and people just want to keep her around. But who knows? Maybe she might surprise us and she might be killing it. So again, we never know. Kayla, what do you think?
Never know. Yeah, Alyson was such a great casting choice. I think she's like the perfect, like, familiar face of someone who at one point was very, very popular. And I mean, she was on probably the biggest sitcom of that time when How I Met Your Mother was out. And so she's someone where a lot of people are going to recognize her, whether they're a fan of How I Met Your Mother, they know that show. So perfect casting. She probably is at that point in her life where she can do something like this. That's like, oh, I could just do something fun and dip back into like, that world of being on TV. So, but like you said, we got to see how she shakes out on the dance floor premiere night. But I suspect she'll probably be like close to middle of the pack, or maybe more of a like early, she sticks around because the fans are voting, but I don't know if she'll be as good. That's kind of my prediction. But what about you, Tati?
Oh, well, first of all, I think she's paired with a really, really good partner, Sasha. Sasha is actually one of my favorite pros on the show, and I think I really want him to kind of go far within this competition, because I don't know or remember even the last time this guy has won a mirror ball. And sometimes you feel bad for those people who they make it far into the or you feel bad for the pros who make it far into the competition and they just cut it so close and then they get booted off before the finale, or maybe they get like second or third place. So, and also what's really sad is that I was really sad to hear that he is divorcing his wife, Emma Slater, who's also a pro on the show. So that was like really sad to hear that. So, but I hope this like season works out for him in his favor and turn around. And I think he's paired with a very lovable, again, like how Kayla said, America's sweetheart type persona. So yeah, I think I as far as a pro, like I'm rooting for him. As far as a pro goes, I'm definitely rooting for him.
All right, up next, we have Matt Walsh, actor Matt Walsh, who will be paired opposite with Coco. Now, Matt Walsh was in The Hangover, he was in Veep, and in 2012's Ted movie. And this is interesting. Matt Walsh, I'm not super familiar with him really in general. I actually had to Google him and what character he was in The Hangover, because I just don't remember him, but he was the doctor in the emergency room, I believe. But he was the doctor. And I don't know. I don't think I really have an opinion. This is just going to be an interesting contestant. I feel like they just threw in. He'll get great publicity. I feel like people will know who he is after this show. I don't mean that to be shady, but I genuinely I'm not familiar with his work. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how he goes. I think he might kind of struggle with the fan base department. Not sure if he's athletic. So again, maybe they just threw him in just to see what would happen. Maybe change it up with different age groups, different age demographics. But we'll have to stay tuned to see how well he delivers. Kayla, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think, he's good casting for just diversity and like the age group type of vibe. And I think it's a good opportunity for Coco to have another season under her belt. Unfortunate that it's a potential another season of someone where, she doesn't have a good potential of winning, I wouldn't predict. Or getting even very far, not necessarily winning because she's still a very new pro, but yeah, I wasn't familiar with him. But then when I saw his credentials, I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. He's been in a lot of stuff. That's really cool. So maybe just someone for us to get to know better.
Yeah, same here. Don't know much about him. When you just mentioned that, Hiba, now it finally clicked who he was. I was like, oh, okay. Very random. Very, very random. Yes. Because all the other cast members that they've chosen have such a big like discography of, entertainment background. It's like that's the only thing I could really think of. Because first of all, I love The Hangover. It's one of my favorite movies ever. So that's the only movie that would really come into mind if you were to bring up Matt Walsh. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't have much of an opinion. I do feel like, he's, sometimes when you're an older person, you're not like as quick as the other people or those who are younger or maybe have a bit of a dance background behind them. So who knows? Maybe he might surprise us. Never say never, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see this guy really going that far. Not to be shady either. So
I mean, we're just calling it like we see it, to be honest. But let us always know in the comments what you guys think. All right, next up we have, of course, the talk of the town, you guys. Mauricio Umansky paired with Emma Slater. So I think this is going to be a pairing that we will have to watch out for because, I mean, the look on his face in that picture, I feel like we can't play with this guy. And of course, Mauricio is married to or separated from TBD. We don't know yet officially. Kyle Richards, of course. And he has been in the headlines a lot, of course, because he also stars in The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and lots of, time spent in the headlines. So we'll have to kind of see how that translates to him being on Dancing with the Stars. Not completely sure if that was even a PR move, this, divorce happening. That's still, they're not really clearly telling us what's going on. But I feel like the fan base is there. I didn't really know about this man until those divorce rumors were circulating. But now, of course, I know him now and he's on Dancing with the Stars. So there you go. Performance-wise, I'm not really sure maybe what he did when he was younger, if there was any sports involved or dancing period. No idea. But fan base, I feel like for sure is there. We're familiar with him. We recognize his name and his face because of his wife, ex-wife, former wife. No idea what that is. But people are talking. So, I feel like eyes will for sure be on him, just like Ariana Madix, X, Y, and Z. So this will be interesting. But again, we got to see how he'll deliver. I'm going to say he's not going to do too well. Again, the stiffness with guys, it's really hard. He doesn't really have an athletic background. So it really is kind of Russian roulette of what kind of results we'll get, what kind of performance we'll get. So my prediction is maybe not too hot. Tatiana, what do you think? I'll start with you.
First of all, I plan on watching this with my cousin because I was like, we have to watch this together. I feel like they have a good cast coming out. She is one of the biggest fans of Housewives of Beverly Hills. So when she saw the cast list, like she freaked out, and I'm going to assume that she's going to probably root for him because she just loves the show so much. But listen, sometimes you think that like a guy won't do well, but then they surprisingly do really well. Like I remember, who was it? Who was paired with the race car driver? I can't even remember his name, but guy, he literally says, I sit for a living. Like, I just sit in a car and drive for a living. But somehow, like, he had really good rhythm in his body, and he was able to dance and made it through the finals and almost won the show. I think he was runner-up. I think he was second place. But you never know. Maybe they have, like, some sort of rhythm in them that will get him through the competition. And with Emma by his side, I think she'll be able to teach him very well. And, you know, she's, again, a big, big veteran. So I think she has been through the ringer as far as it goes, teaching so many different types of contestants. So I think they see like what I have to work with and how we can mold that so we can be able to compete and like get voted every single time to stay in the competition instead of getting voted out. But I think also his popularity will play on his side a little bit because he's from the Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Again, the show comes with so many surprises, so we just have to kind of watch and wait and see what happens and then report back pretty much.
All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we lost Kayla, so we have to move on without her. So let's keep the show going. So up next, we have Sochi Gomez, who has been partnered up with Val. The fan favorite is Val. He's the veteran. And Sochi is an actor who's most known for playing America Chavez on Doctor Strange. So she's kind of from that Marvel universe. So she might have a good fan base. And again, she's paired up with Val. So again, great teacher. He's not going to, do her dirty. But it always comes down to the technicalities of can she dance? Is she athletic? I'm not super familiar with her in general. I'm not a big Marvel consumer. So this is my first time hearing her name. So this will be a good way for her to also get publicity because even though you're not a very famous person like Allison Hannigan or any of the reality stars, this is a good form of publicity to get your name out there for sure. So I think she's gonna, get a lot of fans and a lot of exposure, which is always a plus, especially for the brand. So she might, struggle a little bit in the fan base voting aspect, but I'm very curious to see how agile she might be on the dance floor, especially being paired up with such a great professional and partner. So what do you think, Tatiana? What are your thoughts?
Well, just as much as I'm a Dancing with the Stars consumer, I am a big Marvel consumer. So this is a really, really amazing news to hear. And honestly, she has her name pretty out there right now, especially with her recent film with Doctor Strange. And, she's also really big on TikTok. She's really active on there as well. And she's a young girl. So you never know, like, what she might bring. Most of the younger contestants that I've like watched, they've done pretty good and they've went really far with the competition. And Val is like a very, very, very great teacher. He's like for example, he's taught like Zendaya and like they went really far into the competition. He did Lori Hernandez, who was a gymnast, and she was a young contestant as well. So I have good hopes for her. I think she's gonna do pretty well. When it comes to being an entertainer, you have to have a lot of things kind of under your belt. So whether that's singing, dancing, acting. So maybe she has a dance background that we just don't know about. So we'll find out when the show premieres. And I think with Val by her side, I think she has a very good chance of going far into the competition.
Yeah, she'll be one that we got to keep our eyes on. And she might be, that underdog also that we didn't really see coming out of nowhere. All right, up next, we have Mira Sorvino, who has been paired up with Gleb. Again, Gleb is another fan favorite that we know of. And Mira starred in Rami and Michelle's high school reunion. I feel like that's the best kind of role she's known for. And of course, she won her Oscar in the movie Mighty Aphrodite. Now, Mira is definitely, a little bit older. She's in the older kind of spectrum as far as these past contestants that we've discussed. But again, being paired up with Gleb, I feel like she might, I don't know, it's so hard to say. It really is hard to say. I feel like I'm saying the same thing for each person, but I don't know if she's going to do too hot, especially because, again, I don't want to sound ageist, but she is on the older spectrum a little bit more than, again, the past contestants we talked about. So it might be, just difficulties with stiffness or movements or anything like that. So I feel like this one will be a little tricky, but she has a huge fan base. She's very popular in her film career and things like that. Athleticism, not too sure. So we'll see if she can, learn the steps and carry a beat. What do you think?
I think so too. I mean, I personally have never seen the films that she was in. I do know of Romy Michelle, and I should watch that because I've heard it's a classic film to watch. But yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, I know with again with the older contestants, it sways more and they don't do too well, unless like they throw some like big curveballs. But we'll see what happens when the show premieres. Yeah, I don't have much of an opinion about her, but we'll see.
She did have that big dance number in the movie with Rami and Michelle high school reunion. So she had that big dance number at the end, but I think that was just like a fun dance number. I don't think, again, it'll translate to ballroom style. But maybe that's something to keep in mind. Who knows? Maybe she might have an interest in dancing. So we'll just have to see how that translates, as always. All right, up next, we have Harry Jowsey, who has been paired with partner Rylee Arnold. And of course, Harry starred and appeared on season 1 of Netflix's Too Hot to Handle. And he currently has over 4 million followers on Instagram. So fan base for sure is there. And I feel like he's been a little bit controversial. So a lot of people will be curious to see how he, translates to Dancing with the Stars at network show. And if he can dance ballroom, I'm sure he can dance normally. But again, ballroom is very, very different. It's a different art form, a different style. I'm not super familiar with Rylee Arnold, the professional. So not sure how her teaching mechanics are. Maybe you can help me out with that, Tatiana. But for me, I think fan base for sure is there for Harry. He might just make it far based off of that, regardless of dancing, maybe. So that'll, again, be interesting to see. So what do you think of that?
Well, first of all, I was like shocked to hear that he joined the cast. I was like, where did he come from that they threw in a social media? I mean, like they've been trying to throw in social media stars for the last few seasons here and there.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was kind of an interesting one because I mean, I feel like there are a lot of other social media stars that they could have chosen that have like been in the game, but I don't know, like this is a very interesting one that I'm gonna definitely keep my eye out for because he hasn't been in the social media game for that long. And I feel like I've seen a lot of like other male social media contestants that have been in the game for a really, really long time. So I'm really interested to see where this is going to go. Rylee, again, I think this is her first season as a pro. And I think she's Lindsay Arnold's sister. And Lindsay Arnold is one of the pros and she's a veteran. And I think right now she's focusing on her family and her children because she's had recently, I think, had a baby or two. So I think her younger sister, stepping in for her. So we'll see what's gonna happen. These are like two completely new, like one completely new pro and a new, I guess, like category of celebrity added at because they haven't done a social media star in a while now. So this is gonna be a interesting one to watch. And just like his character, he's a very, very big flirt. He's known to be just like from the show Too Hot to Handle. Like, he's very, I don't want to say the word, but like a womanizer a little bit. But
Okay.
Not to sound shady, but I mean, he's kind of proven like to everyone that he is someone who, is a big flirt. So, maybe he will get the women's votes.
That is true. That's a good point. Maybe he is more towards the female audience and they might help him out a little bit. All right, let's move on to Barry Williams, who has been partnered up with Peta, again, one of the other veterans. Barry is an actor. He's known for playing Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch. Oh, so that's where he's from. I had no idea who this man was until I just read that. And again, these are very first reactions, so you guys are getting it all. Wait, so he was Greg. Okay, I think I know who Greg was. I think he was the youngest one, the youngest son. But very interesting. Okay. We haven't really seen the older type so far with this list of contestants. So he's been paired with Peta, who again is the big veteran also of this season. This is going to be an interesting one as well. I feel like interesting is the main word of this whole video. It's going to be a very different type of dynamic, I feel like, that we haven't seen in a while. And Dancing with the Stars is known for always kind of throwing in a little bit of just an older person, just to, mix it up again with that age demographic. They want to kind of cover all the bases from the younger to the middle to the older. So usually the olders don't make it that far. So sorry, Greg Brady, but not sure how far you'll make it. Again, hit or miss, he might shock us. Anyone might shock us. It's really anyone's game until premiere week hits. So this will be a fun one. He is very nostalgic, especially coming from the Brady Brunch. So a lot of people will recognize him. So I don't think he'll struggle there. But it'll be just kind of down to, do we want to keep him around just off of maybe pity votes? So we'll have to again see. What do you think?
Hey, you never know, because sometimes it doesn't always come down to the dancing. It really just comes down to fan votes. And, I remember this reminds me of when Peta was paired with Tommy Chung. And, he was a much older man. And so we all thought, oh, he's not going to really go that far. He's an older man. He's not really going to, go far as versus the other. But he went pretty far. He went really far. And that's only because I think a lot of the fans really liked him. He won a lot of fan votes. And he was able to stay in the competition longer than anybody expected. So with these older contestants, you never know, because sometimes their personality helps them get through the show, not just the dancing. So we'll see.
That's true. All right. Next up, we have Lele Pons, who has been partnered with Brandon Armstrong. And as a reminder, she is a YouTuber who has over 53 million followers on Instagram. Wow, that is huge. And I just remember her from the Vine days. So it's crazy to see kind of the projection of her following and how much she has accumulated, because that's a lot. So Lele, I remember her, being from the Vine days, like I just mentioned. I do believe she has a dancing background. I remember her being in Camila Cabello's music video, and she's kind of danced in some music videos in the past as well. So she for sure knows how to move. We cannot doubt that. She has the fan base, 53 million. That's a lot. I think she's someone to watch out for. I feel like she might give charity a run for her money, and I can possibly see her in the top 3. I'm going to say that now. What do you think?
I actually agree with you. Lele has she has a huge Latina background. So, and she's always kind of had videos where she was always dancing and even doing some salsa moves and Latin moves. So she has a Latin rhythm already in her. So she has a big leg up already. I remember even in the Vine days, before even TikTok existed, she was doing a lot of dance videos or funny dancing videos. But you could see that the girl can move. The girl has Latin moves in her. So
for sure,
I think she has a really, really big leg up. And also I think because has been trying to become a performing artist in general, not just a social media star. I think she's been letting out music and doing music videos where she's dancing. So I think she has it definitely in her to make it in the final. So I think she can definitely possibly be a finalist for sure. And I think it'll be Brandon. If that's true, then that'll be Brandon's first Mirrorball win.
Yes, for sure. She's one to definitely look out for. And she has a big crowd of influencers that follow her that could easily, promote when voting time comes around. I mean, people like Paris Hilton, who I believe was a bridesmaid for her wedding, and then also Camila Cabello herself. So they both have huge platforms separately. So, if one Instagram story posts of hey guys, vote for her, that might really catapult her into the top 3. So I feel like that will be a recipe for her to easily get up there. All right, next up, we have a big surprise that I'm actually really into, who is Jason Mraz, who is going to be partnered up with Daniella. And as a reminder, Jason is a 2-time Grammy award-winning singer who's known for his biggest song, I'm Yours, Lucky, and I Won't Give Up. And I have not heard his name in a minute. So when I saw him in the list of contestants, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice to hear from him and see him again on the forefront of, social media once again and TV. So this will be a nice kind of nostalgic memory of him coming back to kind of 2023, this modern time. So it'll be nice to see him now dancing instead of singing. So that's completely a 180, but we'll see how maybe that can translate. And Daniella, again, like I mentioned previously, partnered with Iman Shumpert, who was that basketball player that won. So I'm sure if she can teach a basketball player, a singer maybe might not be too far of a stretch, but might have to see. Again, we never know. As far as fan base, I feel like fans might just also be like me, like, oh yeah, I remember Jason Mraz, and kind of have to, remind themselves that, oh yeah, we kind of forgot about him because he's really been on the DL since we've last heard from him. And I'm sure fans still love him and love his music, so he might not struggle there. Again, dancing itself, we don't know, but maybe Daniella can push him and pull through in that kind of department.
Yeah, I agree. When I saw his name, I was like, wait, Jason Mraz, like Grammy-winning artist Jason Mraz? Because a lot of the contestants that they bring on, I want to say like they don't bring on like, I would say he's a pretty A-list celebrity. So, and with the show, they don't bring on a lot of like current A-list celebrities. I feel like they bring on A-lists who were like A-list back in like 10, 15 years ago. And then like just throw in some current celebrities with like influencers or upcoming artists. So I was quite shocked to see that he joined the cast. So and Lucky is actually one of my favorite songs ever. It's actually like my entire family's favorite song. So I want to tell them about this. I'm like, guys, look who's on Dancing with the Stars. Look who we're gonna be watching. You guys should watch this. Just get people more excited to watch it, because I want people. Like, I feel like I'm the only one who watches it in my family. So I'm trying to get everyone to like watch it with me. So I'm like, guys, like, look who joined. Look, come on. You know these people.
Right, exactly. And maybe your family can help him win and vote. So there you go. He's a good one to kind of watch out for as well. Yep. All right. Lastly, the last couple we have is Adrian Peterson, who is going to be partnered with Britt Stewart. Adrian is a football running back. He played for the Minnesota Vikings during his 10 years with the club. He also played for the Seahawks and the Tennessee Titans. So we got an athlete here, an official athlete. Not familiar with him personally. I never really heard of him until right now. But again, athletes, like we said, they're very hard, kind of bigger frame, usually struggle with the stiffness. So that will be maybe a challenge possibly for Adrian. Fan base, question mark, not really sure, but what do you think, Tatiana?
Well, personally, I am not a watcher of that much football, so I'm not that familiar with him. But from what I know, he is a running back. And Emmitt Smith, who won a couple seasons ago, was also a running back. So, and you have to have like really quick feet.
Okay.
To be running. You have to have really quick feet to be running back. So, again, a lot of athletes, sometimes you think that they might not have the biggest chance, but then they somehow maybe have some rhythm, they have good footwork, and maybe even like their sport kind of plays a part in learning the dance moves. So, I feel like with all kinds of sports, I think they have ways to tie in together to kind of help navigate if you're doing something like different. Yes, dancing is a very, very different sport from football, but I feel like if you can pick up things fast, especially with like when it comes to footwork, maybe it might help you. We'll never know, and who knows, you might even end up winning, because a lot of athletes actually have won before. So we're gonna have to keep a close eye on him.
And I think a lot of football players actually do ballet as well to kind of help with the footwork. So I don't know if that is also used in his situation with being a running back, but yeah, a lot of footballers have done ballet or some sort of, I guess, like framework type dancing. So I didn't think about that until that just hit me right now. I remember it was in the movie Game Plan with The Rock. Super random, but he did ballet and that kind of helped him. So maybe he might have some background. Not sure, maybe familiar. But you guys, those are all the contestants that will be on season 32 of Dancing with the Stars, which will air on ABC and Disney Plus on Tuesday, September 26th. Let us know what your guys' reactions are to this exciting casting news that we have been waiting so long for. But before you go, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on any news updates. I'm your host, Hiba Berry, joined today by Kayla and Tatiana. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.